Strength is one of the most important skills in Escape from Tarkov. This skill can make significant changes to the way you move, jump, run, and how much you can carry throughout your time in Tarkov. This video will be our guide on the best ways to level strength, and we will talk about the most optimal way to level strength to ensure that you can get to that elite skill level and reap those elite skill perks. I'm Solaris and welcome to another Escape from Tarkov video on the Solaris Gaming channel. If you have been watching the channel but have not yet subscribed, it would be greatly appreciated if you would subscribe, as this helps us get out to more people and helps us make more content like this. This will be the first video in our series of basically optimizing the leveling of every single skill. This will be part of our larger series called Thriving in Tarkov, which is designed for those more experienced players and getting them to where they can reach their goals much more quickly in Tarkov. One of the biggest reasons that people are looking to level their strength is for those elite perks. And what they are in terms of strength is they allow you to carry significantly more. The biggest perk that you get with it is that all equipped items become weightless. So your gun, your armor, your helmet, your bag, they all become weightless, not contributing to your overall weight and making you overweight the way that they normally would. Rather, they become weightless, and the only thing that weighs something is what is in that bag. This gives you the opportunity to carry significantly more items, and in addition to that, carry significantly more weight. In addition, each level of strength significantly changes the effects of inertia on your player character while you're carrying a reasonable amount of weight. If you're struggling with this new mechanic, check out our video on inertia, which will be above right here. The strength skill in Escape from Tarkov is leveled in three primary ways. The main way that most people level it is by moving or sprinting while overweight. This gives you a certain amount of experience per amount of distance traveled. We'll get more into those details later. The other way is going to be by throwing grenades. And the final way is going to be by hitting enemies or hitting your friends with melee weapons. Most people consider moving while overweight as the best way to level strength. While that's true, we're going to go more in depth on that and talk about exactly why and how much XP you should be looking to get per raid to make it worth your while. While many people give different recommendations, as mentioned before, moving while overweight is the best way to level your strength. Now, my personal recommendation as to how to do this is take the metal fuel tanks that you use for your hideout, and when you empty them, just hold on to them. You can make them into grenade cases, but even if you're doing that, if you're keeping your generator full at all times trying to craft things, then you will have extra metal fuel tanks. Take those metal fuel tanks, take one at a time, add them into your inventory, insure them, and then take those into the raids with you to keep you just overweight, to keep you just slightly overweight. With certain kits, you may not have to do this, but if you're underweight, throw a metal fuel tank, and as soon as you get enough weight from items you've looted in raid, just drop the metal fuel tank. You will have that insured metal fuel tank come back to you in a couple of days, because as soon as somebody picks it up and sees it's empty, they'll drop it right back. You will get your strength XP, you will get your metal fuel tank back, and you'll be able to use that metal fuel tank again for the same thing. This is an extremely cheap and easy way to level your strength, as you don't have to buy all these different items to shove in your secure container or anything like that. You just have to keep your metal fuel tanks. In addition, if you're cycling out those metal fuel tanks, you'll have plenty to go through, and you'll get them back in insurance in just enough time for you to use them again. Now let's get into the numbers. So in general, you can run approximately 170 meters while just overweight before getting diminishing returns at 21%. So at 21% is the kind of the line that I drew with strength as to where it's not really worth it to continue trying to level that skill. You're just not getting as significant of an XP boost as you normally would. And so this is generally what I treat as not worth it to continue leveling. If you're still in the raid, make your way to the extraction, or try to drop some items for about a 5-minute period so that you can level your endurance a little bit. And then once that diminishing return goes away, pick back up those weighted items and then make your way to the extraction so that you can get that experience again that is not diminished. By doing this, I generally gain around 3 experience points by moving throughout the raid or normal grenade. On top of the experience that you'll gain from doing this normally, I generally gain around an extra 3 extra experience points throughout the raid, whether it's from throwing grenades or whether it's just from those diminished returns near the end of the raid. They all add up and I end up getting somewhere around 3 experience. On average, using this method, I gain around 7 points of strength XP in every single raid. If I were to do this at an optimal rate, ensuring that I'm getting all of that XP in every single raid, I would have to complete around 678 raids to get my strength level all the way to the elite perks. Now, one important thing to mention is that the air filter gives you significant increases to the amount of XP that you get in physical skills. Strength being a physical skill, this gives you a 40% boost on your strength skill. So if I were to use the air filter, I get around 10 experience per raid, and then I'm able to complete this in only 450 raids, making you have to use about 200 less raids to reach your goal. With grenade throwing, it is still a viable option, but I would say it's much less viable than strength. But if you have a bunch of extra grenades or you don't like moving while overweight, this is a good option that maybe you can do and complete at the beginning of your raid and then play your raid as normal. For grenade throwing, you can throw about 8 grenades in a raid before you lose that boosted XP that you get at the start of a raid. You can follow up on this by opening your skills tab and looking for the blue arrow. If that blue arrow goes away, that means you are no longer getting that boosted experience. Once you lose that boost, you're just getting the normal amount of XP that you would get during the raid. At this point, you can throw about 10 more grenades before you start getting diminishing returns. And due to the price of grenades, I determined that diminishing returns, even at those higher rates, are still much worse with grenades just because of the price. You can get around 2 XP per raid without the air filter, around 3 XP per raid with the air filter if you're only doing this method. So I find this method to be much less viable unless you are planning on running tons of raids or planning on running in with almost nothing, throwing your grenades, killing yourself with the last one, and jumping into another. After doing some brief testing with meleeing, I could already tell that meleeing was significantly less viable than even grenade throwing. So although grenade throwing is going to cost a whole lot more money than meleeing, due to the sheer amount of time you're going to spend trying to melee and organizing with a friend, meleeing and raid, meleeing is not worth at all. If you're at the end of the raid and you haven't gotten all your strength XP, maybe it's worth it to go ahead and tap your friend in the leg a few times. But in general, meleeing is not worth it for leveling your strength XP. From what I can tell, the optimal way of leveling strength would be to move around the map while overweight, as mentioned earlier. Ideally, sprinting will gain you the most amount of XP as quickly as possible. However, doing this irresponsibly could lead to your death. So, sprinting where you can, but still having it available when you absolutely need to, is extremely important so you're not losing tons of money while you're trying to do this. My personal recommendations, just from the testing that I did and trying to run a few normal raids while trying to do these methods, is I recommend bringing in, a set amount of flashbangs every raid or something like that, and then using them either at the beginning of the raid or extremely sparingly throughout the raid. The moment you see somebody, just throw all of your flashbangs. After this, continue on your raid as normal while overweight, sprinting where you can while still leaving it open as an option when necessary. By combining these two and trying to utilize the right XP method at the right time, you can get to your elite strength level in lower than even the 450 raids that you would need if you were just doing one of these methods. In addition, ensuring that you're using your air filter at all times while you are trying to level your strength is extremely vital. If you are not using your air filter, you're going to be looking at significant XP loss over that time. Hopefully this video will help those players who are striving to level their skills as fast as possible and get those elite skill perks. If you're looking to level more skills faster, check out our Thriving in Tarkov playlist. We're going to be putting up a bunch of videos on how to level each skill in the most optimal way, giving you the exact numbers breakdown that we get whenever we're working on it, so that you can know exactly, where it's not worth to keep leveling, where it's time to extract, what you need to be making sure that you're doing to ensure that you're leveling as optimally as possible. In addition, this playlist is going to be designed for more experienced players. So although we've been releasing a ton of new player content, this playlist specifically, anytime something comes out on it, will be designed for more experienced players to improve your experience in your time in Tarkov. I've been using the method of bringing a metal fuel tank and ensuring that my air filter is always on for about 2 wipes now, and I've always gotten my strength to the elite skill perk in a reasonable amount of time, and I haven't even really focused on leveling it. If you've been following the channel, it would be greatly appreciated if you would hit the subscribe button and help the channel to continue to grow so that we can continue putting out content like this for you guys. If you enjoyed the video and you want to see these videos earlier, check out our Patreon channel where we put all of our videos there while they're waiting to be released, and they will be available for early access there. In addition, if you would hit the like button and comment down below and let me know how you prefer to level your strength, that would greatly help the channel get out to more people as well. Thanks to all our patrons on Patreon for supporting us. With that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next.